Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Andover, Minnesota, and I'm here to bring you another live paper crafting class. I'm very excited to be here. I have some new products to share with you that will debut on May 4th, which is less than a week away, 6 days away. How exciting. It is 11 a.m. Central Time on April 28th. If you are following along with me live, welcome to all of you. You can actually log into your YouTube/Google account. And when you're logged in, you'll be able to comment during the live and get in on the conversation that's going on. If you're watching this after the live, there's a separate section to comment in, and typically on a laptop that's below the actual video. I hope that you add a comment just to say hello. Tell me if you're a new crafter, an avid crafter, that sort of thing. I would love to hear more about you. And welcome to Trisha Josephs. Trisha Josephs is my moderator. She helps me out on my live videos by answering questions, giving you information that I might forget to give you, or reiterating information that I share. So thank you so much, Trisha, for joining me and helping me out once again. This blog post that's connected to the video is going to go live at 12:15. So about an hour and 15 minutes after the live begins is when you'll be able to visit that blog post. And that blog post is listed in the description of the video right now. So you can go there and click on it at 12:15 or later, and you'll be able to see photos of the projects that I'm going to share, all the cards, and I'm also going to have the video that we're doing here linked into that blog post. You'll be able to see measurements listed, supplies listed, and all that good information. So, without further ado, what am I going to share today? I got a swap from a fellow demonstrator in my group named Paula Nicely, and she made this crisscross type of fold on her card. And I posted the card in my blog post a couple weeks ago, and I had lots of people questioning, how do you make that card? I would love to know how to make that card. So I thought, you know what? This is a cool idea. I need to share it. So I will show you Paula's card, and I'll show you, of course, the cards that I'm going to make, and I'll teach you how to make that crisscross fold. And it's funny too, for those of you that are around my age, or you just enjoy rap music, you might remember a group called Crisscross. So all the time that I've been working on this card, I've been singing that jump, jump song in my head. Well, actually out loud. My kids are not, they're annoyed by it now. All right, so let's begin by going over the measurements. Let's do that first. So I'm going to pull up on my camera here, or my laptop, a little screen that you can see. And you can do a screenshot if you want to, or you can just wait for the blog post to go live and then just get the information there. But yes, hand pen crisscross cards. We're going to use the hand pen suite. The hand pen suite includes all the products that I'm going to be using: the stamp set, the dies, the designer paper, and the gems. And when you actually order products in a suite, you can order them with one order number. It makes it very convenient, very quick and efficient. I also listed the bundle because if you want to just get the stamp set and dies, you can get them together and save 10%. That savings is within the suite too. These new products are not going live, not going to be available until May 4th. So don't try ordering them today if you're watching this live, but May 4th and after. Okay, you'll also see on my list that I have order numbers by most of the items, except for the top ones. The top ones that are listed, because they're not live and orderable yet, I don't have order numbers listed for you yet, but I will try to go back and link those products on May 4th or soon after. All right, what else? Oh, I've also got 3 different samples of the card that I'm going to make. So there are a lot more supplies listed than you would need for just one of the cards, but I wanted to make sure that you knew all the products that I used on all 3 of them. So there's different ink colors and cardstock colors mixed in there. Let's go to the measurements. Yay! Rachel remembered to do some metric measurements. So for all of you who live outside the US or outside of imperial measurement areas and you use metric, you'll be able to make that card work for you with the A4 size cardstock. Okay, let's move to the desktop. This is the new catalog. I've got my fun little tabs along here so that I can find things easily. This is where you're going to find the new products. You'll be able to see this catalog. You'll have like a downloadable link to it on May 4th so you can peek inside on that date. But let's bring in the hand-penned stamp set. This is the one that I'm going to be using. I'm going to use the thanks. I'm going to use this flower, and I actually forgot to grab my blocks. I knew there was something. As I'm pressing the live button, I'm like, there's something I forgot to do, and I'm going to screw it up during the video. Yep, so I got to go grab my blocks, but that's okay. And we're going to use these floral images to kind of fill in this image. So we're using a couple colors along with it. These are the dies. These are called the Penned Flowers dies, and we have, there, we'll separate that. This one here is very detailed. It's like an outline die. This is a framelit in that once you stamp, you can cut the image out with that frame. That one we will be using. The other ones we will not, but you can see that you can do lots of fun things with it. You've got this scallop, you've got a stitched edge on it. This is actually to go along the bottom of, or the edge of a piece, because it doesn't cut on this side. It just cuts on this side, and it makes a little stitch mark close by. Really fun. And then there's leaves, a couple leaves in there, a couple flowers, and then another outline because we have another blossom on here that you could cut out. So lots of good dies on that one. I love this whole bundle because it reminds me of my grandmother. My Grandma Lou, my mom's mom, was an artist, and she would draw and paint, and she oftentimes would take her pen, just a ballpoint pen, and she would just do this beautiful drawing just with a pen. And this the illustrations on here just remind me of something that she would have done. So for the crisscross card, you're going to take your cardstock, your base cardstock piece, and I'm using Blushing Bride for my base. You're going to take and you're going to cut that in half so that you have two long pieces. But before we do that, you're actually going to need two halves. So we're going to put the score line in the middle of each of those long halves before we cut. So we're going to turn it this way so it's positioned with the 11 inches going in this direction. We're going to score it at 5.5 inches. And then we're going to turn it around and we're going to cut at 4.25 inches, which is half of 8.5. So I'll use my dark blade. And now I have two pieces that have a score line through the middle. We're going to sandwich those together like this. And we're going to turn them so that we're cutting, and you can see this on the directions that I had posted, or the measurements that I had posted. I wrote down, then cut diagonally from the middle edge to the outer corner. So I'm going to point out where that is on here. This is the middle, and this is the edge or the edge here. And I meant to, well, I should have said where the score line is. So you're going to either go from this corner or this corner of that score line. And then you're going to go diagonally to an opposite outside corner. So I could go from here to here, I could go from here to here, here to here, or here to here. It doesn't matter as long as you're making sure that it's a diagonal cut from the center score mark to an outside corner. And you'll want to hold firm so it doesn't move on you because it's not getting pressed up against the edge, the top edge or the bottom edge of the trimmer. So you want to make sure that you're pressing down hard with this hand and that you're pressing hard down with your blade because you're going through two sections of cardstock. And that's a little bit harder on the blade, so just keep that in mind. Now, if that bothers your cutter, if you have a different kind of cutter, you could do one piece first and then do the next piece and just try to cut in the same exact spot. These two items we won't need for this card, but that's good cardstock. So don't throw that away. Just set it aside because you'll need it for some other card in the future. Now, why did I sandwich it like this? Why did I flip it this way? Because your score lines actually have a mountainside and a valley side to them. Hard to see in this camera, but I pressed on this side, which means the cardstock kind of bumps up. It makes a little bump on that side, and it makes a valley on that side. So when I sandwiched them, I was cutting the opposite direction from the folds. When I go this way now, so right now I've got the valley side up, I'm going to fold away from the valley side. So I'm going this way, and you can see now how they're going to crisscross together. Okay, jump, jump. All right, I'm going to move something off my screen here because I want to make sure that I've got what I need here. Okay, I'm going to take this out of the way, and I'm going to bring in the other pieces that we're going to need, and then I'm going to go grab my blocks because we need to do some stamping. So I've got a basic white piece, and this basic white piece measures 3 3/4 inches by 5 1/8. This piece is just 1/4 of an inch smaller than your base size when it's folded up. So this is 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then I have a white scrap, which happens to be the same size as my other white, but we're going to stamp on this and die cut. And then I have a 1 inch tall strip. And I made it 3 1/2 inches long, but you can make yours longer or shorter if you want to. Not too much shorter though, okay, because it's going to get tucked into your card. So let me show you Paula's card. This is the one that she made for me. It was part of a swap. I was so lucky to get it. And so she's got, of course, her designer paper or her cardstock with stamps on it overlapping, and that's what we're going to do with the designer paper that I have. We're also going to have a little accent piece in the middle. Actually, it's going to be off to the side. And then you can see that she's got some things inserted into the pocket. So it's a pocket type of card, but it's just got that fun crisscross fold to it. So this is the insert. She stamped on hers. She even put a little divot with a circle punch. I'm not going to do anything to mine. I'm going to treat it as if it's something to kind of hide the packet of seeds. So she's got a gift of seeds in there. And you can take out this piece and write on it. Or you could even write on the back side if you don't want to have that accidental, you know, where you sometimes write on a card and then all of a sudden you put it in there and you're like, oops, now my writing shows. So you could, you know, tell yourself right on the back side. So I wanted to show you her beautiful card, and let's go grab the blocks. I don't know how many I'm going to need, so I'm just going to grab a few. I have a lot. Okay, I used to do in-person classes, and we'd do like things called Stamp-A-Stacks and card cafes, card buffets, and we needed lots of blocks. All right. So here's the stamp set. This is the way our stamp sets, our photopolymer stamp sets are being configured now. And so I just want to show you, they come the way they normally do with your 2 pieces of plastic, right? But then you've got your images printed now on the cover piece that slides into your stamp case. So they're printed there instead of on the plastic, which allows you to store them directly onto the plastic case. Very nice, very clean, very neat. I keep this in here. You don't necessarily have to, but I keep one of the pieces of plastic just to protect them from dust or whatever. But yeah, you could store it like that, and then you wouldn't have to peel that off. So we need our thanks. We need our big blossom, and so I'm pulling out one of the bigger blocks that I don't use quite often. This is the E-size block. And we need some flower fillers, so we need all of our solid flowers. We have 4 of those. We'll put that one on a C-size block. I think this is C. Yep. We got some C-size blocks, and then we've got a B. Can you see those? Sorry. And then we've got a couple small ones. We have a leaf that we're actually gonna use 2 leaves. So I think I'm gonna grab some smaller blocks. All right. These are perfect for the A-size block. The A is your smallest size. Oh, that one. Well, that'll work. And this one. All right. We're ready to stamp. So let's take our scrap, and let's remember to bring in our Stamp & Pierce mat. Some of you have asked, why is the Stamp & Pierce not in the catalog? I just want to talk about that. The Stamp and Pierce mat was going to be discontinued last year, and by very popular votes, and lots of people saying no, 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 they kept it. But it's only in the online store. That's where you can find it. So you just put in, like, you click on that little magnifying glass. You click on that and you write Stamp and Pierce or something like that, and this will come up. You'll be able to get it. And then we got small grid paper. I like the small grid paper for the Stamp and Pierce mat because I know where my mat is underneath. I don't want to like stamp accidentally off the edge of it. So we'll grab our inks, and I'm going to use Highland Heather, Mint Macaron, and Tuxedo Memento black ink. Ooh, that's a little dirty. There we go. We'll start with our Highland. Oh, we have to start with our outline. We'll start with our tuxedo, and we're just going to ink up our outline image. When a stamp is super large, I like to ink it up upside down. I think it's easier to hold everything that way. And we'll press that onto our scrap here, which is actually quite big. We don't need that big of a piece of paper. I'm going to zoom in a tad. We don't need that big of a piece. So if you, you know, we can save some paper for the next time. I could do another blossom over here. Okay, so have our beautiful blossom, and now we can take our filler in images. So we're going to stamp all the flowers with Highland Heather, but I'm going to stamp off. I'm going to use what's called second generation ink. So we're going to go ahead and stamp onto, oh, and this helps you to see flaws. I think I have a little piece of hair on there. Okay, there we go. So we're going to stamp onto our scrap paper, and then we're going to stamp onto the flower. And if you can see, this flower is not lining up with this image perfectly. That's because it's meant to be that way. It's more of an illustration. I forgot a couple things. Holy cow, I meant to wear my beautiful pink ring because we're using Blush Blossom today. Some of you commented that you liked it and I needed to keep it on last time, so I put it back on. And I also forgot to share comments from last week. I have some of those to share with you. So remind me. I need to pull them up right now so I don't forget. There we go. Now I'll remember. Okay, and then we'll take our next size flower. We'll do the same thing. So we'll stamp off, and then that one's going to go into this spot here. And when I stamp it in there, again, you'll notice that it doesn't line up perfectly. In fact, I'm going to hold this one up higher so you can see. But what it's doing is it's giving that artistic look to it by just doing a real sketchy kind of filling in, right? I think it looks beautiful that way. Then we're going to use the smallest of the flower, single flowers, and we're going to stamp that off and come in and fill this one in. And last but not least, we have a cluster of two little flowers. So we're going to stamp off and use our second generation of ink. What we're doing is we're getting a lighter purple, by the way. I think you figured that out. And we'll put those into those two spots there. And now we have that look. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Okay. The next ink that we'll use is the Mint Macaron color. And we have 2 leaves, but we have, what, 1, 2, 3, we have 7 leaves to fill in. So basically, you just do the same thing. And you can do full color, or what I'm going to do again is stamp off. How did I do this one? I did it this way. So I stamped here, then I came in and stamped here. And that's pretty much, oh, you didn't see that, sorry. That's pretty much all I did for the biggest one, is I stamped in those 2 spots. And then we'll do all the little ones. When the image doesn't line up perfectly, it also gives you some leeway to not have to worry about perfectionism. I'm one of those people who likes to have things perfect, but when it's not allowed, it makes me feel a little freer. Does that sound weird? I don't know. I love it. Next, we're going to grab this piece because we'll need to stamp on that. And we'll take back our tuxedo black ink and we'll stamp our word thanks. And we're going to stamp that pretty close to the right side of that tag. Okay, so it's about 1/4 of an inch away. We're done with the stamping. Let's do some die cutting. I need more table spaces. Okay, so let's keep that over here and bring in our die cutting machine. And we'll set up our platforms. So for die cutting with this beautiful machine, I love the look of this. This is our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. You'll want to have platform number 1 first because you'll need to have some thickness to bring it up. And then we'll need platform number 2, which is our die cutting adapter piece. And then we'll need 2 cutting plates. Okay, I'm going to put my scratchy one on the bottom. And then I'll put my paper here. I'll grab a little sticky note because that will help hold this in place. And we'll just go ahead and secure this. Make sure you can see that black outline evenly all the way around. We'll just secure that in place. Okay, and then this one goes over the top like that. And we'll crank it through. I love the invention of a die cutting machine. How nice that we don't have to fussy cut around that flower. Although if you aren't ready to invest in a die cutting machine, you can certainly hand cut around that. Fussy cut, whatever you want to call it. So we have our beautiful blossom cut out. That's ready. Let's move to our comments, and then I'm going to show you some papers. I'm kind of getting out of order today. Crazy. These are comments from last week. Yes, I did read them, you guys, and I loved reading them. I always love reading them. The week before was super hectic for some reason, and I'm sorry about that. But I have read them. I just didn't get a chance to show them to you in last week's video. Okay, so we had some people that were joining us live for the first time. Yay! We always celebrate you. Thank you for letting me know that you were new. Your comments, by the way, do get you entries into the prize drawing, so make sure that you are commenting for that, if not for just saying hello. I love to see where you're from, like all over the place. It's just fun. Sweden, Germany, Texas, Outer Banks of North Carolina. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. What else? Oh, Delane. Okay, so at the very bottom, Carolina wrote down, I thought they were delaying the start of the new catalog. So just want to tell you that they're delaying the start of the July through December catalog. Okay, it's the next mini that comes after the January through June. So our mini catalog, which looks like this, is still going on for a couple more months. But this one is going to end the end of June. And usually we have a new catalog ready to start, a new mini catalog. They're like half the size. We usually have another one ready to start right when that one ends. But we had COVID delays. Who would have guessed, right? And it's just the way of the world right now. So products are being delayed in getting to Stampin' Up! In time for that to start on time. So the catalog, even though it's going to be named July through December catalog, it is going to begin in August. That's the one that's delayed. So I just want to make sure I made note of that so that you knew, Carolina, and anybody else who might have been confused. That one's just going to be a little delayed. Okay, and thank you, Jean, for saying hit the thumbs up. I love the comments that make me giggle. I brought in a few of those. Those were funny. Darn. And then, oh, Pat Smith, I loved your idea. Yours is like the third from the bottom there. I love that idea. I had never thought of that before. So when she stamps off onto her cardstock instead of grid paper, so that she is creating a background, like a designer paper right there. That's very clever and efficient. Any specials for signing up? Yes, Lita, we're going to have a Join Plus special. That Join Plus special is going to start May 4th and it'll go through the end of May. And you'll be able to get an extra $30 in free goodies that you can pick from, that you can add to your starter kit. So normally the starter kit is $99 plus tax, free shipping, for up to $125 worth of product, but it's going to be $155 worth of product for $99 plus tax. So, and then that was wonderful to hear. Thank you so much, Minerva. We're going to go back to, whoops, where am I? There I am, the desktop. And I want to show you these beautiful papers. The other two parts of the suite are right here before us. This is the beautiful hand-penned designer paper. And it's got these gorgeous flowers on one side, lots of different floral designs. You can see some have just slightly different tones and shades and designs to them, but all very similar. And then on the back side, you have one color with subtle white markings and patterns in them. This paper is perfect for making the type of card that I'm going to show you today because we still have yet to cut our designer paper diagonally. And the beautiful thing about that is that whichever paper you pick, see how there's yellow on the front and on the back side. See how there's the mint green here and on that side. So every single paper coordinates with its backside beautifully, and that's not always the case. You can see the pink is in there, you can see the purple is in that one. So any one of these 6 sheets you will be able to use for this card. If you are a demonstrator and you are trying to think of a class card idea, this one might work for you because you can crank out lots of different samples and still have that same, like you can, cut this whole packet up to make multiple supplies, I guess is what I want to say. The Genial Gems, that is the 4th part of the suite, and you can see that there's mint and pale papaya colored gems that have sparkle to them. They're very pretty. Okay, let's bring back our trimmer. Let's bring back that designer paper. And we're going to cut diagonally. So when you look at the card base, and these pieces are going to fold over like this, we're going to have one piece diagonal this way. So when we cut this, we have to figure out, do we want the floral side to be on the right or do we want it to be on the left? So whichever way you cut it, diagonally this way or diagonally that way, is going to determine how those papers will lay on your triangular overlaid pieces, okay? We're also going to use the flip side, but don't worry about that yet. We're just going to cut one. And I want my flowers to be on the right of my card, so I need to cut from here to here. So I'm going to set it up in my trimmer, corner to corner, diagonally. I'm going to start in the middle with my dark blade. My dark blade is the cutting blade. And I'm going to start in the middle somewhere on my cardstock because I don't want to push against a corner or you can bunch up that corner and then, mess up your cardstock. So I'm pulling down and away and I'm going back into that cut and I'm pushing the other direction. So now I've got this piece that will go here and watch magically. This is so cool. Flip it over and now we have our other piece ready to go there. Yay! All right, let's assemble. I'm going to suggest bringing in tear and tape adhesive for the bottom part of your card because you don't want the bottom part of your card to open. I'm also going to use our seal adhesive. And because we have such a large surface area that's going to connect these two pieces here, we can use seal. If it was a smaller piece, I would say grab some tear and tape or stronger adhesive. But we've got lots of surface area to cover here, so you can use the seal adhesive. So we're going to pull it down. Sometimes you got to get this puppy going. There we go. We're going to pull it down and just make a couple strips of adhesive along that section. And then I like to stand it up and bring it together in that corner, or that edge I should say, and then I can carefully make sure that it's all gonna connect. Okay? So if you do it that way, it lines up real easily. And now we can add our designer paper. So this piece is gonna go here. This piece is gonna go on the other side. So let's do this. Let's take those two pieces, and we want the adhesive to get right in the corner. So I'm gonna put them like this and flip them over, and I'm gonna put the adhesive on it together. That way we can get right into that corner like that. See how I overlapped those little areas there? Helps you to get right in there, especially if you're not using the multi-purpose liquid glue, which would also be a great option for crafters. Now we can pull them apart from each other if we can get them off our fingers. Holy cow, that's strong tape. So we'll just go along all these edges now, and we're ready to add these layers. Oh, this one, I did this last time, you guys. Oh my gosh, Rachel. Let's put this one on so we don't have two stickies. We're gonna go like that. Bring it down. Okay, so that piece is on. This piece we were gonna trim. Oh. Okay, Rachel has to make a mistake every time. How many of you noticed this? Did you notice? I put it up close. My flowers are upside down. Oh dear, my flowers are upside down. Rachel, Rachel, Rachel. Oh my goodness sakes. I'm gonna get a new piece. I'm gonna get a new piece. Hold on. I can't handle that. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Yes, you need to pay attention to the direction of your flowers. Well, this will make it easier actually when we add our step that I forgot. So we'll just have to figure out a way to put that on a card. You know what? I'll have to be upside down crisscross. Jump, jump. Okay, so when you cut this, look at the direction of your flowers and then do your diagonal cut. Raise your hand or put, do something on the little conversation. I want to know who else did that before, or you caught it. Did you guys catch that? Oh my gosh, silly me. There, now we have the flowers going in the right direction, and we don't have tape on the back. So that's a good thing. I'm moving the sticky one over here because it's going to catch on everything. Oh my goodness. Let's make sure that fits too, because I didn't pre-measure. Yes, that piece was perfect. Okay. All right, now we're going to add our sentiment strip. I'm so embarrassed. I do something or several things each time, don't I? Let's bring that grid paper back in. Here it is. The grid paper is handy because it has a ruler on it. So we're going to lay our designer paper on here, which is 4 inches. It's 4 inches, right? So we've got our designer paper on there, 4 inches in height. So I'm using the 0 to 4 inch mark, and this is going to get stuck on here in the middle. So because it's an inch wide, it's actually going to be put on between the 2.5 and the 1.5 inch mark. So we're going to lay it down like that, and the grid paper will help you to make sure that it's straight too, because it will follow these grid lines on here. I am OCD. I am Linda. I know. I wasn't when I stamped those flowers though. Okay, then we can come in like this and we can trim off the excess. And you don't have to trim that perfectly unless you're OCD like me. I shouldn't make fun of that. That is an actual issue that people have. I think actually one of my kids kind of suffers. Well, I think we all do. We have a slight mild amount of it in our family. Okay, now instead of putting those two triangular pieces together, I'm just gonna use the grid paper to kind of go off my designer paper, so I still have the adhesive going right to the edge. Oh, and a lot of you remind me, and I have it sitting right over here, but all my blocks are on top of it. You could use your silicone sheet if you want to. And then then you can just peel up that adhesive after you're done. I forget to use it. It's just not a habit of mine. I've been stamping for over 21 years, so I forget that there's new great inventions out there. Okay, we're lining this up and sticking that down. Okay, this is how this is going to work now. You can go like that, and it's perfect. You could do that if you want to, because you have that same border, that pink border from the Blushing Bride cardstock going all the way down. But I'm going to go like this. Okay, I know it's a sin. I'm actually covering up most of the flowers, but believe me, when we add this piece, this is going to overpower the card. So you don't want to have a lot of this floral showing through. Grab our tear and tape adhesive, and we're going to stick this down like this. Actually, I did that wrong. That's okay. We're just going to do this. What I was going to tell you to do is put your tear and tape on these two sides, because you're going to put one down and then one down. But we didn't do that. All right, we put it here. That's fine. It doesn't matter, as long as it's going to connect. Peel off the backing, bring this down carefully, and seal it. You can use your bone folder to help give it a good crease. In fact, if you haven't used the bone folder on your two sides here, you can do that too. And now we'll add some tear and tape here. And I'm going to add it this direction so that I can actually cut right into this edge and make the tear and tape adhesive go right into the corner, because I don't want that corner to peel up. So I'm getting right in the grooves there. This one, it's okay, because that corner is protected. In fact, let's take our take your pick tool, because Rachel has painted nails, and this will help peel off the release paper from our tear and tape adhesive. There. Okay, then we can bring this down and just make sure that it's lining up. You might have to kind of push it to make sure it's going in the right spot. This is going to get tucked in here, and you can test it, but that's why we put the measurements so different. I mean, it's not like what you'd think, right? Because you have 1/4 of an inch. I think it's 1/4 of an inch. Yeah, 1/4 of an inch on this side. No, it's not. It's more than 1/4 of an inch. But anyways, you have even more of a depth here. You have a 1/2 inch here, and you have 3/8 of an inch here. But that's because you have to allot for that tape that is kind of taking up a bunch of room on the bottom there. So that's where that goes. And then, of course, we have to have a seed packet. I'm going to make multiples of this card. Can you tell? We have to have a seed packet. So we're going to stick some baby's breath in there. Fun, fun, fun. And then this is going to get popped up on dimensionals. It's going to come up a bit. I better grab these, because we'll need those next. So we'll grab a few dimensionals, and this is going to get put on dimensionals in the corner, in the upper corner like that. So you can kind of eyeball where you can put your dimensionals. I can stick one here, here, and here. Okay. Then we'll take off the backings. We'll add that, and I think I'm going to make it so that this leaf, I'm going to zoom in a bit here, so that this leaf corner is going right up there, but you wouldn't have to if you don't want to. Do it however you wish. So that's done. And then we need our embellishment pieces. So we're going to add some ribbon, and we're going to add some of those genial gems. 16 inches is what I wrote down. I'm just going to eyeball it. But yeah, about 16 inches. And we'll take, this is our Flowers for Every Season linen ribbon. So that Flowers for Every Season pack actually comes with 3 different ribbon rolls in it. There's one that's a twine that's got some seaside spray color in it. No, Misty Moonlight, I think it is. Yeah, Misty Moonlight and silver and white. And then there's also like a gingham design in there. And then there's this beautiful white linen ribbon, which is like 5/8 of an inch. Oops, need the one that has the ribbon on it. Use your sharpest scissors, which you can assign for just ribbon, for cutting your ribbon. Then you don't have to worry about having issues cutting your ribbon down the road because you've got a nice sharp scissors that only cuts ribbon. Then we can adjust if we want to. We can kind of maneuver. And if you really, really want to, especially if you don't have a tight hold with your ribbon, you can take and stick like a glue dot under the middle of the knot and then hold it down. We'll grab our Genial Gems and our Take Your Pick tool. The other end has a little gummy thing that can help grab these beautiful little, they've got like this gold in them. They're just stunning. Can you see, like, here, we'll do this. Can you see the gold little flecks? They're just beautiful. And we're going to add those to 3 of the flowers here. I think I'll do a couple small. No, I'll do a big one. We'll do a big one instead. I'm going to rearrange some stuff because I made like my 10th mistake of the video. Let's see if we can lift it still before it bonds. So this one I'm going to put on my smaller flower, and this one I'm going to put on my bigger flower. That's what I was really going to do, because I forgot that I had a 4th gem on here right next to the word thanks. So I have 2 small, 2 large, and that will help you use up your packet evenly too, especially if you're a demonstrator doing mass production, because you've got even amounts of large and small, and you can use the pale papaya colored ones for the different designer papers or the different color combinations. So let's look at the different combinations that I have. I'll zoom out just a tad so you can see all of them. Isn't that a pretty card? I'm in love. Okay, so here are the other versions. This one you already saw. We'll just go like that so you can see them side by side. There's the finished one. And then I've done one with the garden green color for the base. I use pale papaya ink, which is a new color coming out, and I use the garden green ink. And then you can see in the middle, I use the pale papaya Genial Gems. Okay, so that's another version. And again, flowers, flower seeds. You could put something else in there if you want to. These would make great Mother's Day cards too, wouldn't they? Just so springy and cheerful. And then I've got a 3rd version that I made, and this one I think is actually my favorite. Why didn't I demonstrate this one? Well, this one has a different kind of gem in the middle. I was drawn to the light blue gems that you can get when you purchase the Holiday Rhinestone Collection. There's this light blue color that I use up super fast. I think I only have like those left. I don't think there's any, nope, there's no more in there. There's only 6 of those left. But they also have other colors in here. The red, the green, this green here matches perfectly with the garden green color. This blue works really well with the blue that's in the paper. You can even use this orangey yellow color with the papaya style. And the red, I don't know if the red would work necessarily with the papers, but at least 4 out of the 5 colors would work super well if you were going to match them up with this design. So this one has a different flower inside because I decided I needed some yellow flowers. Fun! All right, the next thing that I want to share with you though, before I close and we draw prizes, is I want to show you some of the favorite cards that I have shared on my blog over the past year or so or whatever, featuring some stamp sets, some of my favorite stamp sets that are leaving. You have until May 3rd to get your hands on certain stamp sets that are leaving, accessories that are leaving, designer papers, that kind of thing. A lot of these things are actually sold out as well. So just know that, you know, if you missed out on something, It's because you waited too long. So let me bring in my piles. Okay, let's start with this one. This is the Sending Sunshine stamp set. Yes, it is leaving. I don't know how many of you remember these cards, but these were like little tiny note cards, 3x3, done with the brushed metallic cardstock and some fun sponging and daubing techniques that you could now do with your, you could do that with the blending brushes, couldn't you? Gorgeous. We didn't have those at the time, I don't think. Yeah, I think I used daubers or sponges. I don't remember. It's been a while. But anyways, Sending Sunshine. Pretty, right? Gorgeous cards. Here's another one that I'm greatly going to miss because I'm a butterfly fanatic. I love butterflies. The Blue Morpho in particular, by the way. Butterfly Wishes stamp set. Beautiful sentiments, beautiful fonts. Imagery is gorgeous. This one here actually matches with the butterfly, the punch. So great combination. I'm not sure if this is still available, by the way. This is the card that I needed to share. It's one of those arrow type of folds, and just a fun card. All right, another stamp set that, oh my gosh, why are they retiring this one already? Rooted in Nature. Oh, so gorgeous. It's got masculine flair to it, but you could really make a card and give it to anybody with this stamp set because it's stunning. This is a card that I got from Brenda Cardinal, fellow demonstrator and friend, and it's beautiful, is it not? It's just stamped with black ink, black and white layers. She used the shimmery white cardstock and did kind of a baby wipe smearing technique on it to get that beautiful blend of colors going across the card. Whip out a ton of cards easily, quickly with this technique, and it's a gorgeous card. Rooted in Nature. This card, or this stamp set, I am just really devastated about too. It's only been around, I think, for a year. Beautiful Friendship. It's beautiful. It's got the whole hydrangea floral look to it too that paired up so nicely with the Hydrangea Hill paper. This one I've demonstrated just recently, so you can go back in my YouTube videos and find that one pretty quickly. But the Beautiful Friendship stamp set is going to be missed by me. Waterfront. I did not play around with this much. I have to admit, there's like 3 different stamp sets that had this look to it, and I fell in love with it. But I don't know why I did not create much with it. It's really weird, but I'm going to miss it. It's one that I would have played around with a lot more, but every single card that I got as swaps, I was just in love with. I believe this one was Joanne. Nope, this was from Sun Stampin'. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. Suzanne. Anyways, I got this card from her as a swap on probably one of our trips. And you can see she did white embossing on here. And then she did some sponging over the top to get that beautiful look. And then, of course, she got the white emboss on the black cardstock, which just, oh, it's so stunning. So that stamp set I will miss, even though I didn't touch it much myself. This one I'm going to miss too. And I didn't have time to play with this one much. Borders abound, but look at the beautiful fonts on there. I used those words in a lot of different cards. Didn't pull out the border stamps too often, which is funny because when I look back on when I first became a demonstrator, I was drawn to those border stamps and used them all the time. One in particular had little bunnies on it. The Boho Indigo Medley, I'm going to miss that too. I think it might even be sold out by now, but look at this card, this stunning card made by Charlene Ito and my team. And if you bring the bottom portion down, it's actually an easel card at the same time. So it's got this fun fold to it and it sits like an easel. Amazing. Amazing. The talent that is out there is amazing. This set I did love up a lot. Beautiful World. The Beautiful World stamp set, I think the dies were discounted greatly. I'm not even sure if they're still available. But look at all the fun cards. Like these are going to be used for graduation cards soon. They have some great words on them. This one was one that I demoed. Oh, I had to tape it down a little bit because I photographed that way with my temporary adhesive. This one here is a fun fold card. Beautiful stuff, you guys. I loved the cards that I could make with that set. This one, Healing Hugs. Do you remember this card that I made? So this one opens, I did like 5 or 6 different folds with the same size piece of designer paper. So this is one that I paired up with our Christmas Time is Here designer paper, which only has been in the online store. I'm not even sure if it's still there, but it was there at the time that I demonstrated this, and people were like, what? That's still around? Because it has a similar rose look to it. So I used that to make the Healing Hugs card. And then the cute fruit. It is cute. And who doesn't like fruit? It's just such a healthy snack. So do you remember the cards that I did where I used the pineapple and the melon and did some fun little fruity cards like that? Used the ornate, the designer paper that went with the ornate. Yeah, I can't think of the name of that designer paper. Okay, Rustic Retreat. We'll miss this too. This is a beautiful stamp set that reminds me of my mom and dad's home up north in northern Minnesota. They live in a log cabin. They have a wood burning stove. They got a regular stove too, but I mean, this is their cabin. That's it right there. And we see bear and we see deer. And so, do you remember the cards that I made with the embossing folder? Cranked out a few of these. And then you know what I did with them? I didn't tell you this, but I made 3 different versions. There was a green version and then these 2. And I sent them all 3, but spaced out over time, just to let them know I was thinking of them during the COVID times. And they never said anything, but in my 3rd card, I wrote in there, by the way, did you notice that I've given a version of this card to you 2 other times? And they were so polite. They didn't tell me. Because they thought that I would because there's been times where I've given somebody the same card twice, and they were, yeah, they told me, and I laughed about it. I'm like, what? Yeah, it's funny. Under My Umbrella, this stamp set's super cute. It pairs well with the Umbrella Builder Punch, which is also leaving, or maybe has left already. But these were some of my favorite cards that I made with them. Vellum, and look at, they pull up like this. They've got a pocket for a gift card in there. They were really fun to make. Very fun. Gonna miss that set. I'm gonna miss this set too. Any of the itty bitties, they're just great to stamp with. Itty bitty word greetings, itty bitty Christmas, itty bitty birthdays, I think was another one. And so I used it on many cards. This one was embossed with the Magnolia embossing folder. Remember the silver edged note card, the cards and envelopes that we had. This, that ribbon, that made me cry. When I saw it on the retiring list, I had some tears. I was like, what? They cannot make that ribbon go away. I'm getting over it though. And Wildly Happy, super cute images, great for baby cards or just, you know, little tiny sweet messages. So I made this card with it and the sweetest baby card with it. So if you needed just a little bit more inspiration for for purchasing something before it retires. All right, I'm going to bring these back in because these are going to be prizes. We're going to cut this into half and in half again, and each prize winner is going to get a packet of the Genial Gems and a 4th packet of designer paper this time. So if your name is drawn, and we're going to draw 2 winners, then you get that 1/4 packet of cardstock, plus you get the packet of Genial Gems. And then last week, I do have a winner from last week that was drawn after the live ended, any comments that accumulated after the live ended. So I'm going to pull up that person's name, and they get the shimmer vellum, the designer paper, and some cardstock in the new in colors. So let me first pull up that name, and we'll get the computer set up here so you can see who that was. Drum roll. So this is for last week's winner that gets the in color stuff. Congratulations to Miss Mary Schuler. Yay! So I will get that stuff out in the mail to you, but you got to contact me. My email address is up there. I think Trisha's been really good about posting it too to claim prizes. We'll go back to the computer for me to view so I can see if Trisha has announced the winner for the hand-penned packet of goodies for today. We have 2 winners that she's going to draw. I'm just going to scroll just in case she's already drawn them because our timing is a little off. I don't think I've seen them yet. You may see them, but I don't see them yet. It's really weird how the timing works. Next week. Oh, let me tell you about a couple more things too while she's pulling them up. So the join special I talked about, last day to order retired products May 3rd, first day for the new catalog May 4th. I told you all about that stuff. There is one more special that Stampin' Up! Just announced. It's called the Connect, Craft, and Collect special. I'm going to dive into it, but first let's announce our winners today are Catherine Munro. Sorry, it's going really fast here. And Hildenel, I've seen your name come up before. Hildenel, it's scrolling fast. Hildenel Vilches. I hope I said it right. Congratulations to both of you. And I'll go back to the Connect, Craft, and Collect special. The people who host a party, it can be virtual or in person, and your party sales reach $250 or more, you'll get an extra $25 in host rewards. So instead of just like at the 250 level, normally you get $25 in free goodies, but you're going to get an extra 25. So basically you're going to get $50 in free goodies by having a $250 party. Now let's say you don't want to have a party, you just want to order a lot, like me. Well, you can get that too. So you can totally get in on more free goodies just by placing a $250 order or larger during May 4th through June 14th. So that one goes a month and a half. Oh my gosh, congratulations to all the winners. I hope that you got all that great information because a lot of things are in the midst of changing and moving around with Stampin' Up! Stuff. I hope I inspired you with what I shared today. Next time I go live will be Wednesday, May 5th at 11 a.m. I'm going to let you all go, and I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.